And we're going to talk a little basketball today, maybe a little football, maybe who knows. We're going to even talk a little bit about murder.
Murder was the case that they gave me. Murder was the case that they gave me.
Well, it's that time of year again, ladies and gentlemen. Another year down. I will be 46 years old tomorrow. I'm just glad to have made it another year. Now we're going to talk a little basketball today, maybe a little football, maybe who knows. We're going to even talk a little bit about murder. I ought to be murdered for wearing this damn hat, but it's cold. Good God Almighty, it's cold in Green Vegas today. One thing I have really tried to live by, especially lately, is that no matter how bad I've got it, no matter how shitty I think my life might be, there's so many people out there that have it worse. For example, how about the West Memphis Three? How many people are familiar with the West Memphis Three? Damian Eccles, Jesse Miss Kelly, and I can never remember the third kid's name. Of course, they're not kids now. The three dudes that in 1993 were convicted of the murders of the 3 8-year-old kids. Now, most everybody's heard about the West Memphis Three, and for those of you that haven't, and even for those of you that have heard of them, but have never really studied or, had an interest in that case, I highly urge you to get on YouTube and watch all of the stuff on it. And I'm curious about your opinion, because I, like everyone else, I have an opinion on who I think who I think killed those kids. There was a lot of things that would, on the surface, make you think maybe they did do it. But then the more you get into the trial and the more you see that there is no evidence, and then the more that has been dug up and learned as time has passed. Originally, I used to think Mark Byers, which was one of the stepdads of the 3 kids that got killed, I thought he did it. I've spent a lot of time watching documentaries on this and reading about it because it fascinated me how corrupt our justice system can be, and how corrupt humans will be when they have an opinion on something and don't have facts. 3 teenage kids that were convicted of a murder that I don't think they did, and most people don't think they did, and they spent 18.5 years of their lives in prison. So there's 3 dudes right there that have definitely had worse lives than me. I ever mentioned the fact that I don't like Alabama? I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before on here on a YouTube video. And that applies to basketball. It's not just a football kind of hate. I hate everything about them. Don't like their colors. Don't like their arrogance. Don't like their football team. Don't like their coaches. I just don't like them. Don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like them. I'm gonna get bumpy here for a second. Railroad tracks. You Alabama fans, of course, can thank Tennessee for your basketball success. That win over us down there has helped propel you guys to 97, 98 wins in a row now for your basketball team this year. Shit, you guys keep this up, you're gonna have 2,000 or 3,000 national titles, just like your football team. I'm not gonna say I was surprised that you guys beat Kentucky last night, because it was at Coleman, and Kentucky is not last year's Kentucky team by any means. There's a lot of good freshmen again this year, but obviously the chemistry's not there. Coach Cal must have cut their checks in half or something. So what you basically had was historically the best football program going up against historically the best basketball program in the SEC. Neither one of them have done very well nationally. Alabama claim 18,000 national titles in football, but they've really only won 12,000. But they're really not that good outside of the SEC. I don't know if you know this or not, but in my 46 years, I've developed somewhat of a poor taste for Alabama and Kentucky. Not so much in football, because we've beat Kentucky once or twice in the last 28 years in football. Maybe 6, possibly 7, 8 tops. There was that one year back in 1998 when Tennessee was decent in football. Pretty sure we beat Kentucky that year. I don't know, I'll have to go check the stats. I'm not a stat man. But yeah, we got a big basketball game tomorrow night down there against that white boy, Henderson. come up here and pretty much cut us a new one a couple weeks ago. It's payback time down there on the grove where they grow oranges. So that's gonna help us out a lot. It's an orange grove. So we'll be right at home down there in Ole Miss. Going down to the orange grove tomorrow. They'll be tailgating out there, drinking hottie toddies, and it ain't gonna help them. It's gonna be the Jarnell Stokes, Jordan McRae, and Trey Golden show. There's gonna be some throat slashing, gun slinging, some of this. We're just gonna get wicked. And then Saturday, the Crimson Tards come to Knoxville. That would be a great happy birthday to me. Right now, we're gonna get over here and pump some more gas in this bitch.